There was a time when I was 8 years old where my mom was extremely drunk and she was naked, swearing and throwing things. I was extremely afraid and I called my dad for the first time to come and save me. My dad took custody over me. My mom did get sober after that and she regained custody. I was absolutely hoping that my mom would stay sober, but my mom went straight back to drinking.
I met Valerie when I was 20 years old. 2 years later, we had Heather. She really took to being a mom. She loved it. When Heather was about 2 years old, I went to prison and I didn't get back out until she was about 6 years old. The day I got home, when I saw Valerie, I realized she was completely drunk. The music was blasting, it's 2 in the afternoon, and she had a nightgown on, vacuuming, drunk. I packed what little belongings I had and I left. Valerie and I never got married, but we always just kept tabs on each other. I try to look for Valerie, almost daily. My wife and I, Samantha, make sure she's still alive and she's not starving to death.
Where were you for a couple weeks? I've been looking for you.
On the other side. When Valerie calls Peyton for help, she's typically intoxicated, usually is cussing, yelling at him.
Did you acknowledge my existence for once?
Valerie's addiction and alcoholism makes her really volatile. One time we got a call that Valerie had been assaulted.
We rushed over there. Her face was all swollen and bloody.
Valerie was the instigator, and she fell and hit her face on the shopping cart. She asked us not to call the police, and we didn't. It just so happened that the police had seen Valerie and pulled over. Valerie thought that we called the cops on her, so she came back and just tore the mirror off my wife's car and took off with it. I was like, how could she do that just moments before my wife gave her the sweater to wear? I think Valerie likes living on the streets because she uses it like a weapon against us. She expects all of us to just feel so sorry for her and bend over backwards to help her, but she only wants help on her terms.
You go out and look for her on a daily basis to just monitor in case there's something you can do or need to do to take her out of harm's way if she gets right on the edge.
Sure, yeah. And I'm worried that she's coming to the end of her time, One day I'm gonna pull up and she's just gonna be dead, And I'm worried about my daughter.
I didn't agree to do this story for Valerie. I'm just telling you honestly. I agreed to do this story for you. And for your little boy. Peyton, you've been sober for 9.5 years.
Yes, sir.
I look at what you came up through in terms of your parents, both of them being addicts, both of them being incapacitated at different times. Your dad being gone and incarcerated. You start drinking and drugging at 12. You kept drinking till 21. Then finally you got sober. You've been sober 7.5 years now. And during all of this time, you were victimized, abused, assaulted, and some of that is in parallel to what your mother went through.
Right. So it's scaring me, and if you see my mom now, I'm thinking this is my destiny, and I mean, regardless of that, I don't want to put my son through what I went through as a child. I want to be the best I can be for my son.
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.